1990 began leapfrogging ahead of India in development. All this issue instilled a huge desire in me to do.
What is next for Adani after President Ruto abruptly cancelled their deals in Kenya?
But for me, the highlight for the day was the issue of Adani. I want to sincerely thank him because he listened to Kenyans who have said that we do not associate ourselves with this deal of Adani. But now, going forward, the question is this. This deal has been cancelled. There will be consequences. This was a contract that was signed. There will be consequences for breach of the contract.
Well, this Indian corporate giant, infamous for its deep pockets and persuasive lobbying, quietly walk away after allegedly spending millions to woo Kenyan government officials for the lucrative JKIA management contract. Now, if you believe that Kenya Kwanza's decision marks the end of the Adani saga, think again, because the company is not just licking its wounds, it's likely preparing a retaliation strategy. Because we have two interesting deals right here: the JKIA deal, which was supposed to go through, and the Ketraco deal, which had already gone through before the president cancelled the deal live on TV. Now, the Adani's contract with the Kenya Airports Authority was no ordinary handshake deal. It came with meticulously crafted clauses that safeguard the conglomerate's interest against government backtracking or public resistance. According to the confidential agreement between Adani Airports Holdings Limited and KAA, any disruption caused by protest, court rulings, or parliamentary decisions obligates Kenya to compensate Adani for financial losses and anticipated profits. Now, this clause is categorized under Material Adverse Government Actions (AGA), referring to any governmental act or omission that hampers Adani's ability to fulfill its obligation or generate profits. Now, the agreement spells out severe penalties for termination. If the government pulls the plug on their deal, Adani is entitled to 100% of the debt invested, 150% of adjusted equity, redundancy payments, subcontractors' break cost, transfer costs, including stamp duties, taxes, and registration fees. In simpler terms, Kenya might have to fork out billions just to sever ties with Adani. And this isn't limited to the JKIA deal. Adani's cancelled partnership with the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Ketraco, another terminated project, could further escalate financial repercussions for the government.
Would these emerging reports in any way affect the delivery of this project? We can't tell. Why? Because they are not related to this project. We can't even vote for their veracity from where we sit. And therefore we'll be engaging in speculation, Honorable Chair. The second limb of that question is, could these bribery or corruption claims have a bearing on our own process? To my knowledge, Honorable Chair, there has been no case of corruption or bribery insofar as this PIP of Adani Energy Solutions is concerned.
1 hour later.
Honorable members, I have stated in the past and now reiterate today that in the face of undisputed evidence or credible information on corruption, I will not hesitate to take decisive action. Accordingly, I now direct, in furtherance of the principles enshrined in Article 10 of the Constitution on transparency and accountability, and based on new information provided by investigative agencies and partner nations, that the procuring agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for the JKIA expansion public-private partnership transaction.
President Ruto, during his State of the Nation address, justified his decision to terminate Adani's contracts, citing new evidence from local investigative agencies and international partners. Now, these findings allegedly linked Adani to massive graft and fraudulent practices, including ongoing indictments in New York. Now, the Adani Group and its chairman Gautam Adani face charges of bribing Indian officials with $265 million to secure solar energy contracts worth billions. But Ruto's bold move may come at a steep price. The agreements Kenya signed with Adani weren't just ambitious, they were legally airtight, ensuring the Indian conglomerate wouldn't walk away empty-handed in the event of a fallout. Now, critics now wonder if Ruto's government fully grasped the financial implications of cancelling these deals. Could Kenya end up paying billions for these severed ties, inadvertently fueling the very corruption it sought to avoid?
Because of the information that has been provided to us by partner nations, I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded Ketrago transmission in public partnership contract. And immediately commence the process of onboarding alternative partners, because these are important projects.
Now, Adani's troubles don't end in Kenya. The company's reputation is under global scrutiny, with scandals ranging from environmental violations to bribery allegations. Yet, its ambitions remain steadfast, with an aggressive push into international markets, including Africa. Now, for Kenya, the Adani saga has exposed cracks in governance, particularly within parliament, which initially endorsed the deals despite public outcry. The legislative body's failure to scrutinize the contracts has left Kenyans questioning whether their representatives truly act in their best interest or simply bend to executive pressure.
But for me, the highlight for the day was the issue of Adani. I want to sincerely thank him because he listened to Kenyans who have said that we do not associate ourselves with this deal of Adani. But now, going forward, the question is this. This deal has been cancelled. There will be consequences. This was a contract that was signed. There will be consequences for breach of the contract. And for that reason, those who were involved in the irregularities leading to the cancellation of this particular deal, the law must take its course. They must be answerable to this country, because we have lost and we will lose a lot of money because, one, we have delayed the process. Number two, it has led to a cancellation, meaning therefore that there was no enough advisory to the president, because if this deal was cancelled, there was no enough advisory, and therefore it has been declared null and void, and therefore consequences must flow. Thank you so much.
Kwa hiyo mimi nataka nimpongeze, na jambo zuri kabisa ambayo mfanywa wa Kenya ni yale mambo ya Adani. Sote tulikuwa hatuko radhi na yule Adani. Unajua mwizi tu siku zote. Kama ameiba mataifa mengine na hapa Kenya ilikuwa pia atatubwa pura. Umeona? Kwa hiyo leo mimi nataka nimwambie President, I love you today. Hiyo kitu kumtoa Adani imetupatia sifa kubwa sana kama wa Kenya, na hata kama airports zetu ziko mbaya na najua ziko katika hali tata, alete yule mwekezaji ambayo anaheshima, mwekezaji ambaye atajua kuwa hata akija wa Kenya wakikatwa pesa itakuwa si ile kwa uzito zaidi. Aelewe pia na economy ya Kenya vile inavyokwenda. Kwa hiyo mimi nampongeza sana rais kwa mambo ya femicide, akazungumzia pia 2/3 gender. Umeona? Kina mama hapa tunafinywa sana. Mama wetu kiweko tukokaa ngumi tu kidogo. Kwa hiyo akipeleka vizuri 2/3 gender, kina mama wengi waingie bungeni, na unajua where women are leaders the rivers flow uphill. Kwa hiyo sisi tunampongeza sana leo, na wasia wangu kidogo kwa mawaziri. Nyinyi ndio rais amewatask kufanya kazi. Mkimletea information, hakikisheni mnaleta information ambayo iko sawa, mmefanya uchunguzi wenu na kazi mmeifanya. Msimpe information ambayo pia itapelekea Wakenya kwanza kumrushia maneno. Kwa sababu mimi nataka nipongeze mawaziri wawili. Nipongeze waziri wa Blue Economy and Mining Ndugu yetu Hassan Ali Joho ameingia na msukumo wake mzuri sana, na anaingia mashinani, anasikiza wananchi, anatatua matatizo yao. Na pia ule waziri wa elimu pia amekazana kiasi cha haja, hawezi kubadilisha mara moja, lakini anaenda step by step. Ila tu tunamwambia walimu mahali ambapo inafaa wapate promotion wapate, na watoto wasio wanafukuzwa darasani. Wacha kama serikali inawalipia ile pesa ya capitation, usio watoto watatoka shuleni kwa sababu serikali imechelewa. Wahakikisha wanaongea na walimu, watoto wakae darasani, manake at the end of the day pesa bado zitaingia. Na walimu pia nao waangalie mishahara yao, mazee toka sijui lini hawajaongezewa, na hawa ndio wanafanya wanakuza elimu katika taifa hili.
Asante sana mheshimiwa.
Asante. Nawapenda sana.